my good friend Colvin for letting us use this space, such an important space here, the Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration. This structure has really restored the energy and spirit of this community, and Colvin has really played a major role. I can't tell you how many times he and I speak and just talk about ideas. Back in the day, we shared the dinner together where he ate bagels and, it was waffle and chicken, and I think I had a salad, So, first of all, you are my favorite people. When I walk in the room and I'm around my cultural institutions, I'm not going through the motion. I really enjoy being around you, and I was blessed that many of you, at some of my big locations, you came in as I was in office, and you genuinely care for the people of this borough and the people of this city. And what you do every day, when we're able to allocate our capital dollars to your institution, it means a lot. And it is something that takes no effort on my part. We start with, what are we doing for our cultures? How do we do something to help you more? It would be nothing if it was merely opening your doors and allowing people to see the art. But you have to figure out, how do you keep the walls from crumbling? How do you keep the boilers from not operating badly? There's so much that goes through what you do that people just don't really understand and appreciate. And the more I dig into what you do every day, more and more my admiration for what you do for the borough is just, it's amazing. And if you lean into the secrets of your craft, it will reveal its secrets. And you have leaned into it here in the borough of Brooklyn, and we have first-class institutions. Everything from our small dance studios to the large Brooklyn Museum, to our botanical gardens, to the Historical Society that just links our future and our past, the creativity that's taking place, how Linda has redefined the library is just amazing. It's not a place where just books are on shelves, where people just come in to read. They come in to develop their full personhood. You have brought a new signature to art and culture and made it applicable to today's life. And now more than ever, as people adjust to the national climate, they're going to need the outlets, and they're going to need a way to express themselves in a very real way. And your role has expanded, and we're going to be calling on you even more to allow people those outlets, those forms of expression. How do we deal with rejection? How do we deal with uncertainty? How do we use these spaces as safe spaces for individuals to express themselves on both sides of the issues, and we walk out with still the understanding that no matter what happens, that we are Americans first. And as Obama, I believe, stated so clearly, we're on the same team and never mix up the intramural sports activity that takes place. We win together. So today is a celebration of Brooklyn arts and culture. We are allocated $7.8 million to our cultural institutions, one of my largest allocations out of my capital budget. It just really shows how Brooklyn has this unique flavor, and it's expressed through our arts and cultural institution. We're focusing on strengthening the arts in our community, affordable housing for artists, that is so important, increased studio space, and greater institutional diversity. And so our dollars have gone through many different locations, from the large contributions, $1 million to the Brooklyn Academy of Music, which is just becoming a cultural mecca that we would like to see duplicated throughout the entire borough. The leadership over there is just doing some great things. $1 million to support the climate control building upgrades to the Brooklyn Museum in Prospect Heights. You know, so important that we do that. $500,000 to the Brooklyn Public Library. Techmobile, the first Techmobile of its kind, which is just going to be fantastic. $500,000 is going to wet labs and classroom space for the Brooklyn Center for Sustainable Gardening at Brooklyn Botanical Garden. $200,000 is going here to support the Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation, first ever major renovation of the Billie Holiday Theatre, a 45-year-old performing arts space that has showcased great performers. And even down to $45,000 will go towards a new cargo van to transport film equipment to the hundreds of outdoor community screenings offered by the Gowanus-based Rooftop Films, and on and on and on. The list goes on to those institutions. We try to use taxpayers' dollars the right way to go back into those cultural institutions and have an opportunity to enjoy what we're doing. But it's so important. These buildings, something like the library, the garden, the museum, they are intimidating structures. And for many years, the residents of Brooklyn have walked past those structures, believing that they are not part of the group who are allowed to go in. BAM was off limits. It sat in Fort Greene. We used to bus people out of Manhattan to come to the shows. People felt as though they couldn't come in. The only time they could come in is once a year when the Dr. King celebration took place. Other than that, it was off limit. Well, you know, clearly the leaders of these institutions are saying not anymore. Welcome mats are more than just WELCOME put on a mat. It is in different languages, different shows, different productions, different events, different ways to draw people in, talking about police brutality, talking about gentrification, talking about artistic expression that cuts the edge. Really having the opportunity of not only saying you are welcome, but let me show you how you're welcome. When you walk in, not only do your visual sight see something that's welcome, but we also communicate emotionally and spiritually. Our spirits should feel as though I feel at home here. I see something in my language. I see someone that looks like me. I see a production that reflects what I believe. And when you do that, you start the process of really saying you are welcome. And that is what you are doing. And I cannot thank you enough. And I just want to start and ask both Colvin and the commission to speak on the note that I started with. You are my favorite people. I appreciate you. I love being around you. I get my creative spirit from you. All that I do come from my interaction with those of you who are part of the art and culture. I email you all the time. I'm on the phone with you all the time. I love being around you. And because of my relationship with you, I have an edge over others who are in politics. There's a notable difference of my creative spirit and energy because of the connection I have with my creative industry here in the borough of Brooklyn. No one does it like Brooklyn, you know? No one does it like Brooklyn, you know? And so I want to bring on Mr. Torres, the Deputy Commissioner for the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs. You know, you have this whole artist look to you, you know that? So Edwin Torres.
Thank you. And we just want to say that you're our favorite people as well. See, I'm not even taking this call. On behalf of Mayor de Blasio and Cultural Affairs Commissioner Tom Finkelpearl, welcome to the Bed-Stuy Restoration Corporation and the remarkable Billie Holiday Theatre. And thank you to our gracious hosts, including Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams, Calvin Granum of Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation. We also want to say thank you to Councilmember Cornegie and to Deputy Borough President Diana Reyna. At the Department of Cultural Affairs, we're committed to funding organizations large and small in every neighborhood in this borough, a place synonymous with creative energy. With dedicated partners like Borough President Adams and Billie Holiday Theatre, we're especially proud of our investment in diverse organizations that capture the breadth of communities and neighborhoods of this vast and vibrant place called Brooklyn. From Coney Island, USA, and the New York Aquarium in the south, to Brooklyn Children's Museum and Weeksville Heritage Center in Crown Heights, to Mokata and Fort Greene, to Streb in Williamsburg, and right here in Bed-Stuy Restoration Corporation. We're funding groups of all sizes in every part of this extraordinary borough. Here I have to give a shout out to every resident whose hard work makes us able to provide these substantial investments. All of us up here are just working for you. We also owe enormous gratitude to the artists, teachers, and administrators doing amazing work and making it easy to support programming that provides every Brooklynite and New Yorker with access to extraordinary cultural programming. The city is engaged in the ongoing planning process for the city's first ever cultural plan, Create NYC. Put simply, when it's published next year, the plan will be a roadmap for how New York City continues to support arts and culture, what our collective priorities are, how we can maximize our resources to work together towards them. Our Brooklyn Borough Workshop, being hosted at another dedicated local organization, BRIC, is coming up on December 6th at 6 o'clock. Everyone is welcome. The more of you that share your thoughts, your ideas, hopes and concerns about how New York City supports its cultural community, the more vital the document we create together will be. Visit createnyc.org for more information. Please sign up for the mailing list. Give us a call whenever you like, and thank you again for the Brooklyn Borough President and for Bed-Stuy Restoration Corporation and for all the work that you all do every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well said. Well said. And I want to acknowledge Bennett Baruch, my Capitol person. I know many of you have spoken with him. He does a great job of making sure that our Capitol dollars go out. And Tanya, who used to handle our cultural affairs at Borough Hall, who used to be a dancer. You know, Tanya Cantlow, Cockfield, I want to thank both of them, our team. And so the person who's hosting us today, you know, just really a good friend, a good advisor. We are blessed in Brooklyn to have someone with the skill and knowledge, the dedication, the commitment that Colvin brings. And we want to thank him for housing us today, Colvin Granum.
Thank you, Borough President. Very kind, very generous. I have some quick thoughts. One, obviously, we welcome you, and we take great pride in being able to host you today. It is also quite humbling, to be quite honest, and that's why I'm hesitating a little bit, because it represents the evolution in many ways, not just of restoration, but of our borough, that we are in a position to host a diverse group of people who are making such a meaningful contribution to the arts. When this place was started in 1967, you can better believe this meeting would not have been held. The second thing is, I have tremendous admiration for the Borough President, and standing here this morning, I'm thinking about the current political, cultural environment that we're in. And I deeply feel, Borough President, that we're going to need your wisdom, your courage, the experience you have gleaned from the various jobs you've had over your lifetime to help us chart a path through this. So we look to you for guidance, and we are here to support you as you move forward. And I just want to give you a round of applause.
Thank you, thank you.
The evidence of the city's commitment to diversity in cultural funding and leadership is exemplified in many ways by me, because I don't think I would be on the board of the Met Museum if it weren't for Bill de Blasio and Tom Finkelberg. I don't know. When I got the call, I was like, are you guys joking? And I said, no. We got to do it. No. So I want to thank you for that. It's been a tremendous honor for me to be on that board, but it also is a vehicle to bring lots of parts of the city together, and I'm taking the responsibility seriously, so you can report back that I just missed one meeting for the first time. So I do want you all to know, if you haven't met Dr. Indira Atwaru, who's right here, who is she's the leader of our Center for Arts and Culture and the Billie Holiday Theatre. She has tremendous bona fides, having served at BAM and WNYC and NPR. So we're just tremendously excited to have her here. Tremendous breadth of knowledge, experience, artistic ability, and compassion. So we've already seen the evidence of her leadership manifest in the various things that we've done here, not just on the arts and cultural side, but as she will tell you, her challenge is to make art a vehicle for community development.
Yes.
And to enrich and empower the lives of people so that we can produce more community development and economic development outcomes by engaging people with their hearts. So thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you to all of you for being here, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you. Thank you. If there are no questions, we're going to do our favorite part and take a photo with all of our checks, right? Okay?
Yes, and as we're doing that, we're moving in a couple of special pieces, which, thanks to Fiscal Year,
Yeah.
restoration, we have some artifacts that were recovered back in the 70s and 80s.
Okay, so they're bringing them up? While they're doing that, I just seen Diana come in. Come on down and say hello to everyone.
I just wanted to take this opportunity, what a beautiful portrait, to just thank Borough President Adams for the opportunity to really move around this borough with him, because we're very proud of the allocation of funding secured for many of the different categories that we roll out at the end of the year as the funding is maneuvered into the different institutions that we're investing in. And so arts and culture is not behind. It is front and center. It is our ability to be able to invest in what is not just the health, the mind, but the spirit. Making sure that we have this holistic approach in making sure that we're investing in a quality of life for Brooklyn. And that is true today more so than ever before. And the Billie Holiday, I took a tour 3 years ago with you, Calvin, and the opportunity to see this theater and to understand that now we're finally going to have a restored Billie Holiday Theater is resounding in the borough. And to think that this institution, Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration, began with a mission 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 50 now? 50. Almost 50 now, in its 50th anniversary, to restore from the ground up Bedford-Stuyvesant, and that the piece to it, the most critical, was the healing process of the arts and culture coming back. So we are proud, and this is just the next chapter for Brooklyn. Thank you for being able to be a part of this movement.
Thank you. Thank you.